What if we launched all nuclear weapons at the moon? Well, first let's get one thing straight. Humanity currently has around 12,000 nuclear warheads on Earth. If we decided for some reason that the moon looked at us funny and deserved to be nuked, then that's what we'd be working with. So imagine rockets blasting off from every corner of the planet, all heading for our innocent lunar neighbor. It would be the most expensive fireworks show in history and also the least fun. Now, the first question is, would we destroy the moon? Short answer, no. The moon is huge. It weighs about 80 billion tons, while all nuclear weapons combined would release around 5,000 megatons of energy. That sounds like a lot, but compared to the moon, it's like throwing confetti at a battleship. The biggest single nuke ever tested, the Tsar Bomba, barely scratched the Earth's atmosphere. If you set off every warhead we have, the moon wouldn't even get a bruise. It might get some new craters, though, so congratulations, you just gave it acne. But here's where it gets interesting. While the moon wouldn't be obliterated, the explosions would kick up an absolutely massive cloud of dust and debris. Imagine a shimmering halo of glowing lunar rock circling Earth. For a while, our planet would look like it had a cosmic hula hoop. Astronomers would probably cry, and every telescope on Earth would have nightmares. Also, the dust cloud would reflect sunlight back at us, which means Earth could cool down a little. Humanity would accidentally invent a very radioactive sunshade. Speaking of radiation, would the moon become dangerous? Surprisingly, not really. Nuclear bombs don't make things radioactive by themselves. They just release energy. Most of the harmful stuff would stay confined to the blast zones, but here's the kicker. With no atmosphere to contain the shock waves, the explosions would look spectacular. From Earth, we'd see dozens of tiny flashes sparkling on the lunar surface. To the naked eye, it might look like the moon was covered in strobe lights, throwing the biggest rave the solar system has ever seen. But wait, what about astronauts? Well, if anyone happened to be on the moon at the time, they would have a very bad day. No amount of sunscreen or lead-lined spacesuit would save them. Luckily, the moon is currently uninhabited, unless you count golf balls left by Apollo astronauts. And those golf balls? Vaporized. Sorry, space historians. Now let's talk about tides. The moon controls Earth's tides by tugging on our oceans. If we blew off enough surface material, could we mess with that balance? Not really. Remember, even all the nukes combined are too weak to make a dent in the moon's overall mass. The tides would keep rolling in and out, totally unimpressed with our fireworks. So surfers can relax. Your waves are safe. So if the moon doesn't get destroyed, what would actually change? Well, first of all, international relations on Earth would collapse instantly. Imagine every country agreeing to launch all their nuclear weapons together. That's less science and more science fiction. But let's say it happened. After the dust cloud settles, the moon would have a whole collection of new craters, maybe enough to spell out the words "why though" when viewed from Earth. That alone would make the entire event worth it. But there's one wild card. What if some of the debris fell back toward Earth? Lunar rock raining through the atmosphere would create spectacular meteor showers, some big enough to survive and smash into the ground. Imagine explaining to your insurance company, "Yes, a chunk of moon fell on my car." That's going to be a hard claim to process. And finally, the ultimate irony. By launching every nuclear weapon at the moon, Earth itself would actually become a safer place. Because we wouldn't have any nuclear weapons left. Congratulations, you just solved nuclear war by committing nuclear lunar vandalism. Humanity is now weapon-free, but the moon looks like it just had the worst acne breakout in the solar system. So, what's the conclusion? If we nuked the moon with every warhead on Earth, we wouldn't blow it up, we wouldn't ruin the tides, and we wouldn't all die from radiation. Instead, we'd just give it a new paint job, cover the Earth in a bit of dust and falling rocks, and terrify every astronomer alive. In short, it's not the apocalypse, but it's definitely the weirdest way to write "we were here" across the sky.